In Florida and a lot of other states, the term time sharing is now used to describe how each parent spends time with the children after the divorce. Concepts of what's called custody and visitation are largely extinct. They've been written out of the statute. Down where I practice, primarily in Palm Beach and Martin County, many of the judges start from the viewpoint that two capable parents should have equal time with their children after the divorce, if possible, if both parents have the same type of job and historically have both been involved with the children just about equally. So if you have two parents that are otherwise good people, that both work full-time during the work week and have historically been involved both with their children after the divorce, in most cases, if a judge is making the decisions, then both parents are usually going to have equal time with their kids. I did a seminar recently. It's called the Bench Bar Seminar down here in Palm Beach County, and I was part of running a panel of judges talking and answering questions from our local lawyers, and 2 out of the 3 judges on that panel were saying, basically they start from this mindset. If two parents are equally involved and equally capable, then they need a darn good reason why they shouldn't have an equal type arrangement with their children after the divorce. Usually the worst case scenario down here where I am in Palm Beach County is a parent getting what's called the model schedule, and what that works out to is about 38% of the time over the course of the year, and during the school year amounts to having the kids every other weekend from Thursday night through Monday morning, and on the alternating weeks they have the children from Thursday night through Friday morning. It works out to about 5 out of 14 days, and in the summertime they get a little bit more time with the children. And this schedule you see going into place a little bit more often when there is a traditional breadwinner working parent and the other parent's more of a stay-at-home or part-time working parent and has been historically involved with the children much more. Not to say that the breadwinner parent is not a good parent, but they just have usually not during a long period of time been doing as much with the kids as their spouse has. And when you have these types of scenarios, it's a little bit easier to get this 38%, 62% schedule. They call it the model schedule here in Palm Beach. It's still tricky though if the divorce is going to create a situation to where the parent who's been staying home has to go back to work to make the finances work for them. And after the divorce, each parent's going to be working half the time, or is going to be working full time. Then you have some judges down here that want to make it to where the time sharing with the kids is equal after the divorce. It's a pretty fact-intensive issue. I try to advise my clients to do their best to work this type of stuff out through the mediation process, because it really does depend on exactly who your judge is right now down here in Florida on these issues. But nobody's losing custody of the kids in a divorce if they're a good, hardworking person that's safe to be around their children. So don't ever worry about that or let anybody talk you into thinking that that's going to be the case. A couple of things that you should know as it relates to time sharing in Florida is that courts no longer presume a child should be with their mother in the early years of childhood. There used to be a concept called the tender years doctrine that has been abolished for about 25 years now. And what that doctrine said was that, mothers are supposed to be the caretakers of the children in their earlier years. And back then, if you get divorced and you had young children, the courts were almost always going to have the mother have most of the time with them, because that's just how it worked back then. Well, that doctrine in the law is over. It has been now for decades. Many of the newer judges, in my experience, don't look at things from that perspective. They grew up in an era to where both parents worked and were around the kids, as opposed to mom staying home and dad working. So with the newer judges these days, a lot of them start from an equal 50-50 viewpoint. But in any event, the law that used to apply here that says young kids are with their mother, that's out in Florida. Another thing that y'all should know is children are not going to be kept from one parent just because the other parent criticizes the other's parenting skills. If one parent thinks the other parent doesn't do it the right way, if they should do things a little bit differently, that's not going to be enough to prevent that parent from having time sharing after the divorce. I mean, I just use the example sometimes with my wife. We have 2 young kids, and she doesn't like the way sometimes that I give my son a bath or heat up the bottles for the baby. And at the end of the day, my son gets a fine bath, and my baby eats when she's with me. And my wife just jokingly sometimes gives me a little bit of crap about it, but that type of stuff in a divorce, that's not going to make a difference. As long as the children are safe with the other parent, that's all that's important. If you do have a situation that involves one parent having substance abuse issues or serious issues, a lack of judgment, they do dangerous things, then that's a different story, and the courts will strongly evaluate claims of substance abuse, domestic violence, or proven parental alienation. But unless something like that's going on, minor parenting criticisms aren't going to make or break a child custody case. A lot of the judges really don't care about that stuff. They just want to make sure that the basics of a child being safe and secure and loved are covered. Child custody is an extremely detailed analysis. The statute that deals with it has basically 20-something factors that a court can consider in determining a child custody case. But big picture basics, this is what you need to know when it comes to what goes into determining the time-sharing schedule for after a divorce. Second component of children in divorce is what's called parental responsibility. And what parental responsibility is the term describing how each parent gets to make the decisions for the kids after the divorce. So with children in a divorce, there's 3 things. There's the time each parent sees them, there's each parent's ability to make decisions, and then there's the child support. We're talking about the decision-making ability here. And how the law basically boils down on this in Florida is that unless one parent's judgment is seriously at issue, parents are usually going to have what's called shared parental responsibility after the divorce, and this means that they're each going to share in the major decision-making for their children. And if there's a disagreement, then the judge is basically going to break the tie. This doesn't mean that each parent has to agree on each thing for the kids, usually on things like what the child eats for dinner when they're at mom or dad's house. That's for that parent to decide. But on the major things like where they go to school, what religion will they be, are they going to have a elective surgery, things like that, the parents have to agree on, or a judge breaks the tie. That's typically how it is ordered in a divorce. That said, if it's proven that parents sharing decision-making responsibility would be detrimental for the child, then a judge can order what's called sole parental responsibility or give a parent ultimate decision authority. And that means that one parent would make all the decisions, or one parent would make the final decision if there's a disagreement on a specific issue. Usually you see this with educational or medical decisions. We here at the Bruce Law Firm hope this video has been helpful to you, and briefly want to highlight a few other resources we've put together that might be beneficial as you think more about divorce and try to learn more about it. We have a website, divorceinformationbooks.com. That's divorceinformationbooks.com. And when you go to that page, you will be able to download all of the books that our firm has made available for free on different topics related to divorce, getting organized for divorce, controlling a difficult divorce, divorce strategy. We've got a Florida law guide and a Florida procedure guide on there. A load of helpful information, all for free, that you can download and read in the comfort of your own home, and also request for us to mail to you for free. So check it out, divorceinformationbooks.com. And we have another website. It's hurtforthelast.time.com, and that will take you to our law firm's guide on how to divorce a controlling or narcissistic husband. We represent both men and women at the Bruce Law Firm, but one of our particular areas of focus is representing women who are leaving an emotionally abusive relationship from a controlling husband who has a personality disorder. It's a very unique type of situation that we like to think we do well, and we've put together a book on that particular type of issue that any women in that situation would certainly benefit from. In terms of what you do now, a few action steps at least suggested by us. Before you do anything, if you haven't done it yet, you should go see a really good therapist and see if it's possible to save your marriage, or at least come to terms with whether for you the best thing to do is move on from your marriage. And if you don't know any really good therapists, we have a website, staymarriedflorida.com, and has a lot of great ones in the South Florida area. If you don't see a therapist in your location, please reach out to us and we'll do our best to connect you to one. A few different steps going forward. Number one, before you get divorced, you need to try to envision and define the life that you want to have after the divorce, and come up with a strategy for how you pursue the divorce. And we have a book on that. ControlYourDifficultDivorce.com will take you to it. The second thing you need to be doing in conjunction with finding out the type of life you want to live and trying to figure out how you approach the divorce is learn a little bit more about the laws that apply to a divorce in Florida, and you're doing that right now. We've got a book that covers everything. FloridaDivorceLawGuide.com will take you to it. It's a free book by the firm. The next thing you need to do, if you're starting to feel that divorce really is the right option for you, is start getting organized. There's financial information that you're going to need to gather. It's a little bit of work, but it certainly can be done and should be done before the divorce process starts. Before you see a lawyer, you need to do your best to get organized for divorce, and go to getorganizedfordivorce.com. We've got a book just on that particular topic. It's geared towards women, but just as helpful towards men, so check it out. And the final step before you do anything, you should read our book on divorce lawyers and how to find them. All you need to know about divorce lawyers. It's all about divorcelawyers.com. That book highlights situations for when you should consider having an attorney to help you with your divorce, how to go about finding an attorney that's right for you in your particular situation, and then how to work with that attorney and make sure that they're hearing you and understand your goals, and that you're working efficiently with them so that the costs are as reasonable as possible. If this video was helpful to you, we'd certainly love if you could share the video with anybody you think might be in need. Divorce is difficult, but it's much easier when people have access to the information needed to dispel the myths common to divorce. There's a lot out there on the internet, and it could be kind of scary. We like to think that the videos we've put together on our website and on our YouTube channel are going to be helpful for everyone, so please share. If you're seeing this and you have a question that comes to mind, please do not hesitate to send it to us. We will do our best to respond to your question. send an email to questions@brucepa.com, and we'll do our best to answer it. Sending us a question does not create an attorney-client relationship with our law firm. We're not your attorney just because you send us a question, but if you do send us one, we'll do our best to respond, and it might even be something we can turn into a follow-up question and answer video similar to this to help other people in your situation. My name is Christopher Bruce, and my firm is limited to divorce and family law in South Florida, and there's a lot of great lawyers in the South Florida area. We like to think our firm is pretty good at what we do. If you think we might be a good fit for your situation, we welcome your inquiry. What we do is we have a consultation and strategy session typically to determine if we're the right fit for our clients, and in that session we do our best to give a client an understanding of all the laws that apply to their situation. We answer all of the client's questions and we give them an actionable strategy. It's very helpful for learning what your rights are. And if you'd like to set something like that up, you can call our offices at 561-810-0170. And there's a nominal charge for the meeting, but we like to think it's well worth it. Just as a little bit of a disclaimer, this video is not a substitute for a competent divorce lawyer. You should consult with a qualified divorce lawyer before you take any action, and this video does not create an attorney-client relationship between you and the Bruce Law Firm. We hope this video was helpful. There's more on the website and on YouTube. Thanks for watching.